you'll need a headband, and I suggest you get a headband that covers pretty much all of your ears like this, and get one that's also pretty tight, and you can really choose whatever thickness you prefer. To start, we're going to make 4 of these little circles. So to make a circle, you're going to take your yarn and roll it on your fingers like this 3 times. You're gonna put your hook underneath these 2 and come grab this one here. And then you're going to chain 1, so yarn over and pull through. You can then remove your fingers. Now we're going to make 5 single crochets. So to do that, you're going to insert your hook through the circle. So put your hook inside the circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 single crochet. And then we're going to go ahead and put a stitch marker on our first stitch to know that this is our first stitch. So that's 1 single crochet. We're going to make 4 more. So that's 2, 3. Put your hook inside the hole, 4, and another 1, 5. So here we have 5 single crochets. You can then pull on this yarn to tighten the magic ring. So you can just pull on it, and then as you can see, it's going to tighten it. Put back your hook in there, and then we can take off the stitch marker here and make a slip stitch to close off our first round. Then you're going to chain 1. For this second round, we're going to make increases all over. So that means we're going to make 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 2 single crochets in the second stitch, and so on and so forth. So at the end of round 2, we're going to have made 10 single crochets. So here is my first single crochet. So I'm gonna put my hook there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to put a stitch marker there because this is my first stitch. And since we're increasing, that means I'm gonna put my hook in the same hole and make another single crochet in the same stitch. So here we have an increase. So that's 2 single crochets. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the next stitch. So we're gonna make an increase, insert your hook in the same hole. So here we have 4 single crochets. Next hole, we're gonna put an increase there, so 2 single crochets in the same hole. We have 6 single crochets. Next increase, 1 and 2 single crochets in the same stitch. We now have 8 single crochets and 1 last stitch here. We're gonna make an increase, like this. So if you count from your first stitch marker to the last stitch you've done, you're supposed to have 10 single crochets. So to close off round 2, we're going to take off our stitch marker and make a slip stitch. So you put your hook through, you yarn over, and you pull through. Then we're gonna chain 1. So for round 3, we're going to repeat these exact same steps. We're going to make increases in each of the stitches. That means that in the end of row 3, you're gonna have a total of 20 stitches. So you can go ahead and find your first stitch and make an increase in there. 1, and again in the same hole, 2. Oh, and don't forget to put a stitch marker in the first stitch. So I'm gonna continue making increases in every stitch. So here I have a total of 20 stitches all over. We're going to take off our stitch marker, put our hook through here and make a slip stitch. Then we're gonna chain 1 and we're gonna start row 4. So on row 4 we're gonna do again the exact same thing. We're going to increase in all of these stitches, which means that at the end of row 4 you should have 40 stitches all around. So let's start to increase. So put back your stitch marker on the first stitch there. And make increases all over. So I'll see you guys once I'm done with my 40 single crochets. So here I'm done doing my increases. So if you count from your stitch marker to the last stitch you've done, you're supposed to have 40 single crochets. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take off this stitch marker and make a slip stitch. And now we're going to chain 1, and the next and last step is to make slip stitches all around to make a cleaner edge. So insert your hook in every stitch and make a slip stitch. So you're just going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through and pull through again, and put a stitch marker on your first slip stitch. So it was here. So go all around and make slip stitches. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through all the loops on your hook. So when you're done doing your 40 slip stitches, it should look something like this. So we're going to take off the stitch marker and make a last slip stitch in there, just like this, and then we're gonna pull some yarn and cut it. And now what you can do is pass your hook through your first slip stitch and then take the yarn and put it on the other side, so it's hidden on the other side. So this is what your circle should look like, and now you can go ahead and make 3 more. So in total you should have 4 circles like this. And I also turn it and make a small knot with the 2 little tails. I don't do it too tight. When you're done with your 4 circles, we're going to assemble them. So you're going to take a needle and you're gonna cut a piece of yarn like around 30 centimeters. So to stitch the 2 circles together, we're gonna pass the yarn through the back loops over here like this. So here. So pass your needle through the back loop of the first circle and the back loop of the other circle. And then you're gonna pass your needle through the back loop here and the back loop of the other side. Again, like this. So you're basically just gonna stitch them together. So you're just basically gonna repeat this all around, but you're gonna have to leave a little hole so you're able to put your headband. So now what we can do is take a handful of teddy bear filler, or you can also use some scrap yarn. So we're just going to fill it up. So once you stuffed it, you can put it aside. And now we're going to start making the headband. So take your headband and take some yarn. We're going to make a slip knot. So to do that, make an X shape on your fingers. Put your hook underneath the first here and come grab the second one. Turn your hands, take off your fingers and pull. And then you can pull again to adjust it to your hook. Now take your headband and place your yarn underneath like this, and then you're gonna yarn over and pull through, and do this as tight as you can. So then to continue, you're gonna put your hook underneath like this, grab the yarn over and pull through. Again, put your hook underneath, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So it's going to make a single crochet. So we're going to do that all over your headband. Put your hook underneath, grab the yarn over and pull through. Put your hook underneath, yarn over again and pull through. So continue doing this all around. So as you can see here, whenever you're doing your single crochets, you can still see a little of the headband. So what you can do is just push it over like this, and it's going to hide the color of your headband. So when you're done doing your single crochets, it should look something like this. And now what we can do is pull some yarn from the last stitch and cut it. And now what you should do is put some glue on the corners here, either hot glue or whatever strong glue you have. You should put it on the edges so it doesn't move. On the other hand, I'm not going to do that just because I might reuse the headband to make another tutorial, so I don't want to glue it on. But if you're planning to use it a lot, I suggest you put some glue so it doesn't move. So now the next step is to attach these circles on the ends. What I usually do is I'll insert this around 3/4 in, so around here. So I'll just put some stitch markers to lock it in place. And now you have to take some yarn. If you don't have a tail long enough here, you can just cut a new one. So, and now we're just going to stitch these parts together. There's no specific way I make this. You just have to make it as tight as you can. Insert it in the back loop here, and also inside of one of your single crochets from your headband, like this. And you can join it to the other side in the back loop too. Now I'll take off this stitch marker and I'm gonna go and find the back loop here and one of the single crochets inside here of it from the headband. So you can just continue to stitch these two parts together. So you can go around 2 or 3 times to make sure that everything is secured. Okay, so I went around 2 times, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to pass the leftover tail on the other side. Like this, so I can make a knot with the remaining tail from the beginning. And finally, I'm just gonna weave in these little tails inside to hide them. Now you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. This is what your earmuffs should look like. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section. If you ever make these earmuffs, feel free to tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.